Hello everyone, and welcome to another Roll for Distraction Developer Showcase, our spin-off series where we play one-shots of TTRPGs brought to us by their designers. My name is Alex Vigna, producer here on the channel, and I am joined here today by my friend Alan, who you can find a link to in the description. Real quick before I turn it over to our guests, if it's your first time here, be sure to hit the subscribe button to catch our other actual plays right here on this same channel. We've played lots of different systems, so there's something for everyone, and drop a like and a comment to help out the channel. And now I'd like to welcome today's guests, plural, Nevyn, Holmes and Quinn Morris, to run a one-shot of their game, Dragon Reactor. Nevyn and Quinn, I'll turn it over to you now. Introduce yourselves to the people, tell us a little bit about the game we're playing today, and get us rolling.
Hello, hi, I'm Nevyn, or Nova. I use any pronouns. I'm a queer TTRPG designer based out of Central Texas. I am one half of Dinoberry Press. And along with Quinn, we are designing and publishing the game we're going to play today, Dragon Reactor, Embers, Ashes, Moments, and Stars, which is a mythopoetic mech tragedy TTRPG inspired by all of the incredibly sick-as-hell classic mech and mecha shows of ages long past. It is inspired by Gundam 0079, Iron-Blooded Orphans, Armored Core 6. There's a little bit of Pacific Rim in here. You name it, it's in there. And I'm gonna brag a little bit. I think it's pretty good. This game is coming to... It's a pretty good game. It's coming to BackerKit for a crowdfunding campaign on August 1st. And if you like what you hear, there is actually a free demo available right now. You can find the campaign at bytes.rip/dreams. That's bytes.rip/dreams, like the thing you have when you sleep. And you can find the demo, same URL, just add demo to the end of it. That's me. That's Dragon Reactor. Quinn, who are you?
Hi everybody, I'm Quinn, he, they. I make games. I make a lot of games, and then I publish a vanishingly small percentage of them. And I'm just really proud of this one. I had a really great time making it with Nova, and every time we play it, I also have a great time. And so today, I'm looking forward to having a great time.
Fantastic. And real quick, of course, all of those links that Nova mentioned will be in the description for anyone who's looking. Alan, real quick, say hi to the people.
Hi, people. How's it going? Good to see you again.
It's going good.
Yes,
said like a frequent guest.
Yeah.
Is 3 times frequent?
Yeah. It's more frequent than average. So yeah, as I understand it, we're gonna do some sort of a shared world building exercise here before we actually get into it. A little bit of character creation, a little bit of world building.
Yes.
So yeah, walk us through it.
Yeah, so there are some key things to know about Dragon Reactor. It's a pretty simple world creation, and then we're going to make some factions, we'll make our characters, and then we're going to get into a big fight and fuck shit up.
It's my favorite kind of fight.
It's going to be great. It's going to be very dramatic, very melodramatic if we want it to be. We're kind of going to go with the flow. Some things that you should know. Every story in Dragon Reactor has some things that are true no matter what you decide for everything else. There are mechs in your world, but dragons are something more. Dragons are mythical things with the power to destroy stars. Anyone can pilot a dragon, but few do so to their full potential. And you are not one of those few, not yet. Society lives amongst the stars, spanning the incomprehensible emptiness of space. And of course, conflict looms on the horizon. Doom waits just behind. The world is strange, twisted by forces unknowable and unkind. The world is strange, by words reshaped, by violence made to sing. The world is strange, and beneath its skin lurk ever stranger things. And everything else is up to you, to us at the table. There are 4 questions that we're going to answer to start with. The first one: what form does technology take? What do our systems and electronics look like in this world? Are we clean, digital, modern, and smooth? Is this cast iron, hot steam gears, flywheels, and levers? Do things run on glowing crystals, mystic powders, circles of ancient runes? Is this like a retro futurist thing? Like, what kind of aesthetic does our tech have?
Yeah. And just as far as all this world building stuff goes, obviously, I always have ideas. Just as obviously, sure. I've done plenty of this, right? So, like,
we've played a lot of this.
We've played plenty. Yeah. So I will let you guys kind of take the lead on these things, but feel free to kick it over to me, and obviously, like, once the ball is rolling, I'll jump in.
Yeah.
But I just figure I'll let y'all take first crack,
Yeah, I did a little quick skim of the rules before we played, and I didn't like super read the world building questions because I wanted them to like be sort of spontaneous, but I did have an idea for this one. I was thinking that the aesthetic of everything should be like very like far future, sleek metal, hard light, the full thing. But the dragons should be old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The dragons should look like knight armor with like articulated plate and crystals and all that bullshit. Right?
Yeah, they are like out of place in that way.
They stick out. Yeah.
I love
so good.
An instance of Escaflowne running inside Armored Core.
I was literally just gonna say this is Escaflowne by way of Armored Core, or even some of the like more modern Gundams. Like we've got that in there. Escaflowne also huge touchstone for this game, if that wasn't obvious. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Quinn, do you want to add that to the poet sheet for me?
Yes, let me hop over.
So generally speaking, just like really smooth, sleek, hyper sci-fi,
almost Halo Forerunner kind of.
I was thinking Halo Forerunner.
Exactly. I'm definitely I will add just a little bit to that, and I want to really ratchet up the contrast here by being like, this is hyperfuture where it's to the point where large sections of most technology is made of hard light. Right? Like,
yeah, sure.
I like it.
It's like there's you have a big fucking battleship and like large just chunks of it are pure light.
Yeah, the only metal is like the size of a car in the middle or whatever. Yeah.
Sick. Cool. Perfect. Next question. What have you been told about where dragons come from? Not what is the truth of it, but what have you been told? What is a rumor about where they come from? Were they made by humans? Are they something alien? Were they always here slumbering before the war machine woke them? Does anyone even know, or is it just a bunch of theories?
So I think I don't think we made these things. I think we found them. Like I think we found the first one like under the Martian sands. And we found the next one like a few star systems past that.
Whoa.
And we don't know where they came from or who made them or why humans fit weirdly well in the cockpits. They can do things we can't explain, and there are no maker's marks on these things at all. Like we are driving somebody else's car.
Yeah, relics of some ancient war. Yeah.
Love it.
Beautiful.
I love that. We can just take that as fact. Like humans did not make these.
Yeah, because we don't really have an answer.
Where. Yeah, I love that. Perfect. What is the name of your homeworld and where is it? Are we just on Terra? Are we on Earth in the Sol system? You mentioned multiple star systems. Are we somewhere else? We want to slap this shit in Andromeda? What do we want to do with this?
I do kind of like the idea of it being in our galaxy, just like a different part of it. You know what I mean?
Not too far out.
Where are we? We're in like the West Arm or something,
right? We're in the Orion Spur, I believe.
Nerds.
Yeah.
That's the...
tell me where Lagrange 4 is, please.
Of my knowledge.
That's on the other side of the sun.
Well, it depends which Lagrange point you're talking about. Is this the Earth-Sun system, or
Yeah.
I paid attention when I watched Gundam.
How about one of the major moons? How about like Titan?
Yeah,
Titan.
I like Titan.
I love being on Titan.
Being on Titan, kind of sick.
Methane seas, big islands, yeah.
Seriously, whenever Titan shows up in sci-fi, you know it's gonna be good.
It just feels like an appropriate name for a mech game.
Yeah, it really does. Mm-hmm. Last question. How long has this war raged around you?
Generations.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Fuck yeah. Forever war. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Let's hold on. Are we looking at a forever war, or is this like a just barely out of living memory? Is it like 100 years? Like,
like
it's
one or
long enough
two,
that
yeah.
we are in it. Yeah. Okay.
Beyond living human memory, but not like forever. Yeah.
I like 200 years because that is really long enough for it to start feeling really vague, but also still personal, I guess is kind of the thing. Like, you haven't totally lost the plot.
Your grandpa's grandpa was around
would remember.
when it started.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of stories that have been passed down from the first people who fought.
That's world creation. We have our setting in the vaguest sense, and that is all we need for it. What's next is faction formation. So at the start, this is a game about war through and through. For anybody who hasn't read it or who hasn't picked up on what the fuck we're doing here, this is a game about war, and every war needs people to fight it. We are going to make 3 groups of people who are fighting in this war, but we're not going to pick and choose how we get to make them, and we're not going to kind of slam our heads against a brick wall, and we are not yet going to pick which of these factions that we actually belong to. We do that after we make all 3 of them. So we might have no good guys to be on the side of. The way this works is we're going to roll some dice. Since there's 3 players here, I think you all get to roll some dice for each of these. If you head to the section called Faction Formation, what you're going to do is you're going to roll 1d6 on the faction details table to get a column, and then 1d6 to get a row.
Okay.
And you're going to do that so you have 2 questions. And then we're going to answer these questions together, unless you have some great ideas. But I would love for us to answer these questions together, and we'll note them on the sheet so that we can all see that info. So who wants to do the first one here? Who wants to roll the first dice of the game?
Alan, why don't you go ahead since I answered the first world building question?
Okay. 6 and 5. So what do they have that others fear?
So our first question there is, what do they have that others fear? And then you repeat that one more time to get our second question for this faction.
Okay, so the next question is, who are their allies?
Okay, I love it. So we're probably going to
combo.
loop back around to that second question until we have some more, once we have
factions,
some details on the other factions.
Mm-hmm.
But what do they have that others fear, I think, it's juicy for our first faction. What do we think? Alan, this is you roll the dice for these. Do you have any first inclinations? Do you want to roll on the faction sparks table to kind of get some more info here? Because that is a 2d6 table where you roll 2d6 per column. You get an aesthetic and a group, which is the kind of people that it is.
Well, okay, so what I rolled was magical cultists. So I think maybe what they have that others fear is most of the dragons.
I love it. I don't think there's really anything else that we need to add to it.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty scary.
Plenty.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas on a name, or do we want to come back to that after we get some more?
Ooh, can we put a pin in that? I need to run through my Rolodex of
simmer that,
sorceress names. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Alex, let's get you on that second one.
Sure. I have the question, what are they really fighting for?
Okay, good. Solid.
Who is drawn towards joining this faction?
Okay, I love that.
Sounds very idealistic.
Yeah.
Could be.
Or at least on the face of it.
Why don't we roll some sparks for him and see what we get?
That's fair. You're right. So I got 12 and 8. They are God-touched mercenaries.
Fuck yeah.
Those are words in a pair.
So we're definitely getting the fantasy in here with this. With this far future. What are they fighting for? I mean, if they're mercenaries, it's money, right?
Well, the thing that really gets me about this is that either they're allied or not with the first faction, and either one is very interesting to me.
Yeah, right?
I think they have a belief that, and what they're really fighting for, they have a belief that whoever controls the dragons is worthy, sort of a Darwinism kind of thing. They're the best of us, and so they're entitled to everything.
So they are fighting for control of the dragons.
Yeah, but they're not super loyal even to each other because there's this sort of internal hierarchy
They're
that they're all
mercenaries.
trying to climb. Right.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like Mandalorian in a way, where they're few and far between, and they don't always get along. So they'll take odd jobs with their dragons.
So we think that
Okay, so
there's
it's-
there's subgroups within this faction. So this
Yeah.
is less.
And
This
just
isn't
rogue
like a
individuals.
faction. This is a culture.
Yeah, it's a better.
Yeah,
way
you
to put it.
mentioned the Mandalorians, and I think that really pulls.
Yeah, the
through for
dragons
me.
are their Beskar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So when it comes to who is drawn towards joining this faction, I think we have glory seekers and
Yeah.
those who think they are quote unquote worthy.
Yeah, warriors.
Yeah.
Let's get this third faction out there before we figure out if the magical cultists are
Yeah, we'll figure out the ally
allies
thing
with our
after, yeah.
mercenaries.
Question 1. Who stands in their way?
Oh,
Okay.
we're in it. We're in it.
Okay. All right. We've got conflict
Question
here.
2. What do they say they're fighting for?
What do they say
And
they're
let-
fighting for? Not
let
what
me-
are they
let me get-
actually.
Let me get a spark in here. Here's what I rolled, and I think this is very, very funny, and I think we should stick with it. I just rolled magical mercenaries.
Okay.
Huh.
So we've got 2 mercenary factions.
And two
And
magical
2 magical factions.
All right,
Yeah.
so I think just based on that, the cultists, the magical cultists and the magical mercenaries are besties. They're probably slightly aligned groups.
Yeah, they're at least higher.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
And then the not Mandalorians are mad that the cultists have all the dragons because they feel that they're rightfully theirs.
Yeah. I think
And
that who
there's
stands
your
in their
war.
way is the god-touched mercenaries.
Yeah. I think kind of what it strikes me is that I think these magical mercenaries are they're not really the same nation or anything, but they are being specifically armed by the magical cultists. They have most of the dragons, but they do not pilot them themselves. They consider, for whatever reason, I don't think that they pilot the dragons themselves very much. I think that the magical mercenaries are the hand that holds the sword.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the main
let's-
force. Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of turning over some names for the god-touched mercenaries, and I think a question is what name aesthetic do we want to do here? Do we want high fantasy names? Do we want...
I think they would have a high fantasy name because
What I'm kind of thinking
of
is
the whole god thing.
what I'm kind of thinking is the Almighty's Beowulfs.
Something like that.
Something absurd like that. It's not quite that. Oh, Godly Grendel. That's
okay.
a mech's name,
I
but I think that's
okay,
kidding.
Grendel.
but-
I think Grendel can be in there. What, Alan?
No, I was gonna say I kind of like Grendel for that because the one I was chewing on for the magical cultists was just Merlin, but it's an acronym for something. We never find out what the acronym is.
Yeah.
But-
I'm so in. I'm so
M-E-R-L-I-N,
in for the
curious.
acronym Merlin. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I will figure what's a good. Oh, the classic, Faction 3, Avalon.
Yeah, I like that.
And then Grendel, Avalon. Cool. I'm so into that. And then I guess Avalon, what do they say they're fighting for? I think, and this is the thing. What they say they're fighting for, they say they are fighting for Merlin.
They say that they are. Can we get a little more definition there?
What if they say
Until
they
we
say
roll
that
what
they're
they're really fighting for.
Yeah.
I guess, but what do they say they're fighting for? They say
they say that they are Merlin's right hand. Is what
Yes.
I want something
Sure,
a little
but
juicier
perhaps
than
they have
just-
their own endgame.
Yeah. So the trick here is that there's 2 questions. You keen listeners may have noticed. There's a question: what do they say they're fighting for? And there's a question: what are they really fighting for?
Right.
The way that
So
factions
Grendel
work,
is legit. Everybody knows they want the
yeah,
dragons. and they're being
they
truthful
are
about
doing it. Yeah. Well, the way that this works is Nothing is established as true about a faction until it either comes up in play or until you answer more questions. Every time you do a conflict, you get to answer one additional question for every faction that was involved in the conflict. So you're developing the story as you play. So until we get the answer, what does Merlin say they're fighting for, or what does Grendel say they're fighting for? We don't necessarily know what they say, but we do know the truth one way or another. And now we get to decide which of these factions our pilots find themselves in. I think an obvious answer. I think an obvious answer is Grendel. I think it's very easy to be in Grendel.
I think especially because I think Grendel, like in terms of if our home world, if our faction is based on Titan, that feels like the right place for Grendel to be.
It feels like a culture that would develop on a planet called Titan.
Yeah.
Like out in the wilds, far from civilization.
And like, even if we're not really the good guys, like we're still sort of the underdogs, and that it feels more compelling.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll find out.
We'll find out. Maybe we get the dragons and all life ends.
Ooh, true.
It's time for character creation. Sorry, Quinn, I'm holding the reins. I'm not letting you talk right now. We're getting through this.
That's fair.
My inner producer approves.
It's time for the actual character creation part of this. We're gonna make pilots! Yay! Time to put some sad boys in some sad mechs. Pilots have 5 main components: their name, pronouns, look, archetype, and anchors. Additionally, every pilot has a dragon and their own unique rival. Making a pilot is pretty straightforward. We're gonna take a look through these archetypes, and everybody's gonna pick one. It's okay to double up. It's more fun to not, especially in a one-shot, but every archetype, you'll notice they have a move that they can do once. They have 3 archetype refrains, and they have some belonging outside belonging style, ask one to the right and one to the left questions, so that we can get some connections between our characters. Since we're playing with 3 people, that means everybody's going to kind of have a connection with each other, which is great. To talk a little bit about the refrains here, refrains are our new type bullshit. It is fancy-wancy space magic. Refrains are stems or short phrases that you can utilize to simply make something happen. Archetype refrains are unique in that they can be reused under certain conditions. You can use one of them a conflict, and then if you use a downtime action, you can recharge that one and modify it by adjusting 1 or 2 words. These work a lot like whispers in Wild Sea, because that's what we stole.
Thanks, Wild Sea.
We're inspired by.
Yes. There are some unique ways that they work. There are also normal refrains that you'll get through play, if something horrible happens or if I decide that you should have one. Think about like what of these speak to you, especially since we're doing this as a one shot, and like who would be in Grendel. The once moves are moves that you can do one time, only once. They do not necessarily mean that your pilot dies. It's just something you can only do once.
Yep.
I'm looking at the soldier, just because I'm the one who said Mandalorian. And that feels like...
I think that feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also looking at the soldier, but I will grab something else, because that's... I like that we were both going for the same...
yeah.
Feeling the same thing, though. I'll be the hotshot ace.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Then
I love it.
I will go with the machine.
The machine.
No rookies in this group. Okay.
There
Is that the
usually
fan
a rookie,
favorite?
Isn't there?
Yeah.
Well,
We usually have a
At least
rookie.
playtest thus far. Yeah.
Then we get to talk about our anchors. Every pilot starts with 1 anchor, and more are gained through the course of a campaign. You can have up to 3 at one time. Anchors are your connections to the normal world. These are your supporting cast. These are your favorite characters. These are the cook, the mechanic, your mom, your dad, your brother, your girlfriend back home. You know, these are the people who you care about the opinions of. They don't have to be aligned with you. In fact, one of the rival archetypes, the noble, is able to establish themselves as an anchor for any pilot.
I'm gonna say you said mechanic. I'm gonna say the person who maintains my dragon, the mechanic, or whatever fancy word we have for that, given the weird nature of them. You know what, Mandalorian? They're an armorer, and these things are armorer.
Yeah.
They're an armorer.
They're an armorer, yeah.
For sure.
And every anchor has a set of questions that you answer when you make them. Feel free to answer whatever of these you like have a good pull for, but I'll be able to work with pretty much anything that y'all give me.
So I had an idea for an anchor, but I want to throw it out there because it potentially adds some world building elements. I kind of want my character's anchor to be our like dispatcher or like ground control. Essentially, like somebody back in mission control.
The girl in the chair.
Yeah, guy in the chair.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of implies that there is like we're not just out here on our own. Like we go out on missions. There's a plan. Things like that.
You're mercenaries, of course.
Okay.
We're all just gonna be quiet and type for a little while, and I'll cut this out, audience.
Yeah, this will get cut out.
Yeah.
I need a name for who I am. That's more important.
Oh yeah, y'all need names.
Yeah, I very nearly insisted that we spell Merlin Merdwin.
This is really old English.
Right.
What if, as pilots, we all take on names of Norse gods?
Oh, hell yeah.
Unfortunately, my name is really good.
Okay.
What do you got?
My name is Harmsway Dayglow.
That's a really good name.
So,
yeah.
Harm's Way Dayglow. All right. Dang, I gotta. Well, is that your like birth name or is that your call sign? Because our call signs could be Norse gods.
Yeah, that is
this
true.
I will accept. I will accept this.
Or maybe the dragons have the names. Maybe the dragons have the god names.
Yeah,
I think the dragons having the god names is solid.
I do like that.
Yours is good. I love all of the badass women in the anchors, women and non-binaries in the anchors. We love it.
Yeah.
We support non-binary war crimes.
Absolutely.
As a non-binary individual, I support this.
Diversity win. The person raising your colony to the ground is non-binary.
Please take solace in this fact as you burn. Anyway, hi, I'm Ivar.
Ivar is good. Ivar Bjornsson, good. We've got Domhnall MacLeod, or is that MacLeod?
MacLeod, because I gotta rep my Star Fox a little bit.
Sure, for
and
sure.
Harm's Way Dayglow. Incredible. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move us along, and y'all now get to pick your dragons.
Yeah.
There are 4 silhouettes. That's enough for you each to have a unique one. You'll notice that dragons have a couple of things. 1, they have focuses. 2, they have a once per session. 3, they have a once ever. The focuses are your stats. They're going to be what help you build your dice pool, and they define what your machine is best at. If you don't have a plus in it, it's considered a 0. The way that these work, Fang is your suit-to-suit combat, Breath is firepower and sheer destruction, Wing is your speed and maneuverability, and Lattice is stealth, hacking, and support. These once per sessions, you can do these once per session. It doesn't need to be in a conflict, but pretty much every session is a conflict. There's some stuff outside of that. The once moves, your dragon can do once. And when you do it, you roll on the disaster table with 2 additional dice. The disaster table, you probably don't want to be rolling on, but I do want you to roll.
We'll get there. It's a one-shot for the content, you know?
For the vine.
Alan, I yoinked your class, so why don't you take first pick on dragon So what?
Oh, all right, fair enough. I feel like Ace and Wyvern are made for each other, so I'm gonna go with that.
Love it. Do it.
It does make sense.
I really like that focus on like mobility and
Yeah.
and speed.
Then, so every dragon has a primary focus that's at a +2, and then you get to add a +1 to a separate focus. So you've got wing, and then you can add that second into something else.
I think I'm gonna add it. I'm actually gonna add it to Lattice. I think, as good of a pilot as I am, I think Dom actually kind of lacks the killer instinct a little bit. I think he's actually better as like recon and like electronic warfare.
I love it. I dig it. Alex, what are you thinking for your silhouette?
I'm gonna go Salamander.
Awesome. Good.
It's sort of a
love
meta
it.
joke because I'm currently playing Lancer as the fire guy, so the flamethrower mech.
Good. Yeah, I love it. And what are you gonna add
Yes,
as your
I get
+1
breath.
there? You get breath, which is like sheer destruction. Think
Yeah.
of it as like against structures and non-piloted things or massive things.
I think I will go with Wing then as my other one. The one in Wing.
Okay, excellent. And Quinn, I see you've picked the Drake.
Yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, whatever. Drink this.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't think either of us put a point in Fang, so
Yeah.
for metagaming.
Good. All right, and the
Names.
last.
Wait, real quick, names. We gotta name them.
Oh yeah. I saw a tier in there.
I mean, Salamander, Fire, Schroeter, right?
Hell yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
absolutely.
Yep.
And Quinn, I'll let you think of your name while I explain the next part, which is your rivals. Every pilot has a rival, but you don't have to start the game with one. Rivals are conflict-changing enemies and story-affecting antagonists. They are pretty straightforward. They've got an archetype, they have things they can do once per conflict, and their sort of character creation is a set of sentences that you choose an option from to like fill in the blank. This is whoever you want it to be, really. Like I said, you don't need to make one at character creation. You can pick one from the fight if you want, but if you take a look through here and you see anything that's calling to you, it gives me some gas. It gives me some gas and some juice to use to just throw some fucked up stuff at you during the fight. It's a great time. All right, and the rivals do also have a dragon, but that is really just for flavor and so that I can kind of have a vibe of how to pilot them. Then once we finish this up, I think we just need to
Yeah, I think we can
ask to the
flesh
left
out
and
the
ask to the
the
right.
super specific details of the rival when you decide to use them.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not too worried about getting that in
We're
there
probably not
right
gonna use
now.
everyone's.
We're probably going to use like one.
Yeah, so
Yes.
So now I think we just need to take a moment to talk about our characters, or just do our ask to the left and ask to the right questions.
let's do that.
All right, Alex, you want to go first?
Okay. Left and right are sort of abstract via the internet, but Alan, my question to you is, how long have I been doing this?
Forever, man. Like, we don't call you the old man for nothing.
All right. Okay. All right.
Cool.
Pretty sure they dug you up with your dragon.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm like full gray, scar on the one eye. You know.
Nice.
The good stuff.
And then my ask to the right question for Quinn is, what lie do I tell myself to make this easier?
That you love it.
That also kind of characterizes my
Mhm.
my anchor, because the idea is that we were paired up like when I got the dragon, and so I guess she's old too.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll just keep going in sheet order. Alan, you're up.
Let's see. Nova, I'm going to decide you're to my left. Or, sorry, no, Quinn, because you're running the game. Never mind. Quinn, I'm going to decide you're to my left. What have I done as a pilot that impressed you the most?
I think what you did was you were able to, and I don't know how the fuck you managed this, it shouldn't be possible, but you actually managed to, like, slip into a hard light ship. Like, get into the middle of it without breaking the hard light. And then you fucked it up from the inside.
Good, juicy, delicious, perfect, excellent.
Teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid.
Teleports into your engine room.
Fucking Kalimata spaceship.
And then my question for Alex: what part of everyday life am I truly bad at?
Wow, that's fascinating. You cannot, for your life, tell a joke. You're
God, that's so good.
You're Drax in the first
God.
Guardians movie. You have no concept of irony or sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
really good.
Yeah,
I love that, especially as the ace. That is so
Yeah,
good.
like you're.
It's really
you're
good
just a
because, like, an
flyboy,
ace, you
that's it.
normally expect to be kind of witty, but this guy's just not.
You're all business.
No. I have like the confidence of an ace, but none of the like charm. Or wit.
Yeah.
Well, like the thing about an ace, like the term comes from simply how many kills you got.
Right.
It has nothing to do with your personality, simply how good you are at killing. And I love that being brought forward here. Really, really good answer. Quinn, that brings us on to you.
All right, to my left, Alex.
Yeah.
What monotonous task do I lose myself in as the machine?
Right. I think unlike most of the mercenaries in our order, you do all the maintenance on the dragon yourself.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Like everybody else has an armor, maybe a team of mechanics, but you're
Yeah.
no, this is my dragon. There are many like it, but this one's mine.
Excellent.
Cool. And, Alan, what lines have you seen me cross to achieve victory?
You routinely break formation with Ivar and me. Like, you are not a team player. You've left us in the cold several times.
Perfect.
Just pulls out
Excellent.
flanking
Good.
maneuvers with off comms, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And leave my teammates to their fate.
And I have an idea for this last step. So the last thing that you do before you actually begin playing, or before you decide your conflict, which I have some ideas cooking there as well, you determine Doom. Doom is our eternal countdown. You have all noticed it at the tops of your character keepers. The end is not out there. The end is not coming. It is already here. A stagehand in black, ready to lower the curtain when the lights die. This is a ticking clock. Anytime something bad happens, there's a specific set of things that happen, I get to take up Doom. This is when you reach a pitiful result on a magnitude 4 check. This is when you roll a disaster for a second time, when you lose a conflict, when a dragon is destroyed, or when a pilot or their anchor dies. I get to take up Doom. When Doom fills, it happens. It being whatever the worst possible outcome we can think of is. And my suggestion here is that the dragons wake.
Like all the enemy
The
dragons? Yeah.
No. Every dragon gains sapience. They have been used as weapons for hundreds of years. And I think if Doom fills up, they start making their own decisions.
Ugh, man.
And it's
I think that's
we're
pretty
sort
fucking
of,
horrible.
We're sort of in a race to get a hold of all of them before that happens.
Potentially, yeah. I don't think necessarily that our pilots know that this is what's going to happen.
Okay.
At least not at the start here. But
This strikes
this
me as
is like
something
how
that
I can
Merlin
flavor
knows.
some stuff. Merlin probably knows this.
Merlin knows
might be
this.
fighting for that to happen.
Or to prevent
Yeah.
it, we don't know. Maybe,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Play to find out what happens.
Yeah.
But I love just the dragons wake, and we can move on to our conflict. Conflict is what a main session is made out of. It's a fight, and it is a race to the finish. Every conflict is at least two factions trying to complete their objective first. So to complete the objective, you're going to make die checks. You're going to try to achieve your goal. Think of this fiction first. And we tick up a clock. And whichever side of the conflict fills their conflict clock first wins. And we go from there. So this is clearly going to be Grendel versus... I think that this might be... We're going to go all out. I think that it is against Merlin and Avalon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like
they've come here on their collection quest.
And I think that... I think it could be we are trying to get in and destroy a base. We could be trying to beat them to a dragon. We could be warring over a newly discovered dragon, trying to claim it.
Yeah, maybe there's some way to detect them from afar, and we were racing to that point, and we kind of get there around the same time, and then have to fight over it, kind of thing.
So yeah. I think our goal is claim the dragon, claim the new dragon.
Yeah.
If we win, what happens if we win? Do we just get a new dragon, or do we want a little bit more about that? It could be we get a new dragon and we sow distrust between Merlin and Avalon.
I mean, maybe there's something about this dragon that
maybe it
might give us a clue
big,
about, give us a clue about what Merlin's goals are.
I like that. Maybe it doesn't even have to be tied to the dragon.
Maybe it's not just a dragon. Like, we know about this place because of the dragon and whatever we've been using to find the dragons. But the place that it's in is like a ruin of this civilization that built them that has information attached to it.
Yeah. Or it's even just like we didn't know Merlin and Avalon were going to be here, and so it's just like
we didn't know the ruins were going to be here. We're just looking for another dragon.
So
a routine mission.
I'm gonna say, if we win, we gain a new dragon, and we learn more about the past and Merlin's goals.
Yeah,
I like that.
If we lose, obviously we don't get a new dragon.
Right. They continue on their conquest.
And I think they would learn some compromising information about us.
Or perhaps they also would learn information from the ruin.
Ooh, that's also true.
Or they could be seeking to destroy it so that we can't learn it. Something like that.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. I like the destruction option.
They're going scorched earth.
I do too.
Yeah,
I like that.
Or scorched.
They destroy the dragon and the ruins. It's being born from. They destroy the dragon and the ruins is being born from, and I think that Grendel is left open.
Yeah.
Oh, like open to attack. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. We're ready to play. We're ready to start rolling some dice. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Real quick, should we say, are we on Titan, or are we just on the other side of the planet, or are we somewhere else? Or the moon, I guess.
I got a pitch.
I'm up for whatever. Yeah, Quinn, hit me.
I actually, you know what? I had a pitch and now I have a different pitch. Charon.
Okay, Pluto's moon.
Oh, Pluto's moon, yeah.
Little tiny thing, light gravity.
Yep.
The sun is just another star.
This is totally not the backstory of Mass Effect. The people who get it will get it.
Do we think that the sci-fi magical BS nature has changed Charon from being just a big rock in space to being something else? Maybe Charon has experienced an apocalypse. There was a society here, and now there's not.
An apocalypse or a flowering of life where there has no business being life this far out from a star.
That could have been the apocalypse. Maybe there was a society here, and it.
Someone.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's lean hard against the dark angle we've been doing. Charon is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a situation where there's been it was just seemed like an earthquake at first, but a rift opened up and the ruins are down there, and these trees and vines and things that again should not be able to survive in this icy world are emerging and covering the planet. We're we should go check that out.
Cool. Cool. Guess what? I already know exactly what caused it to happen, and it's great, and I'm going to tell you later.
Yes, we'll get there. Let's
Later.
not keep
We'll
on
get
eating.
there,
Let's
but
go.
guess what? I know exactly what it is. Yeah, I think this is great. I am ready to roll. All right, are we ready?
Yep, go for it.
None of you have been to Charon before. You've heard that it was once a relatively bustling place, but that changed hundreds of years ago at this point. Charon was turned into a disaster well before the war even started, or at least according to the stories that you heard growing up. But something is growing on Charon. Growing? Maybe that's the right word. It's hard to say. Point is, your meters and signal trackers and measuring devices, the things the mages from the council are always fiddling with and adjusting, they're pointing to Charon. Which means you, lucky you, get to go off-world for a bit. When you approach Charon, you immediately realize that something is absolutely not right here. Planets are not supposed to glow like this, but something about Charon, it's like it is surrounded by fireflies in space. You approach, and any sort of actual modern technology fizzles and spurts and struggles to work right. Luckily for you, you're in dragons. These ancient pieces of technology that have been around since before your grandfather's grandfather's grandfather. Some of your dragons might actually be family heirlooms at this point, but they have no issue. So you drop from orbit onto Charon. You're expecting something horrible or strange or weird, and in a way, what you see when you land is all of those things. And it's those because of how shockingly beautiful this planet is. You get through the atmosphere, and what you expect is some strange glowing rock haunted by ghosts and demons, and what you get is a picture of bliss. There are beautiful green rolling hills. There are towering forests. And then you notice everywhere you look are overgrown ruins. There was a society here, and the planet has been violently and suddenly reclaimed by some kind of parasitic nature that has just bloomed on everything. But that's not your concern. You are members of Grendel, after all. You're not here to care about what's already dead. You're here to claim something that's not yet against you, and to kill whoever or whatever gets in your way. You each have a compass, sort of settled on your dashboards or in your hands, and they are pointing you north. What do you do?
Would we have sample collecting things? For
Yeah, probably. I think
scientific
it
analysis?
makes sense that let's see. I think it's I love the idea that Modthrith gave you something as you were getting into the cockpit. It was like, I put a sample collecting device for you. One of the mages wants you to get some things while you're there. Anything that looks interesting. Just bring it home so we can learn something.
Okay. Then
Patted you on the shoulder.
as we're walking north, I would keep an eye out for just a good specimen, a flower, a sapling, something small of this nature.
I think there's plenty of stuff around. I think it's fairly easy for you to pick something out and find something. I would like to know what it looks like and why Ivar chooses that as the sample to bring home.
Since you say it's abundant, I don't think that Ivar has really an eye for this sort of thing. He's grown up on Titan, sort of a dark, dreary, rocky world, and so he wouldn't know a good flower from an ugly one, and so he just grabs the nearest one.
It just says, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah.
Check the box off.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I think Dom is also giving you shit over the comms, just like, hey, don't worry, okay? It's gonna be just fine. Harm's Way and I will watch your back while you go pick some flowers to give to Mathrinth. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. No, take your time.
Assuming we're fully in the mechs, it just turns to you and like it's a glare, even though this thing doesn't really have a face. Like,
yeah, excellent. What do your dragons look like?
I do have a description of mine ready to go while you guys think of it.
Sure, go ahead.
I was looking for medieval helmets to start with, and I found this one that's just like a guy's face on a helmet.
It's not just a guy's face. He's making a like I'm disgusted expression.
Seems
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
he's
and
not
so
having a good time.
Vithar looks like the description I've given as if a suit of armor was also a naked man. So it's a suit
got,
of
like,
armor, but
muscles,
it also has it has sculpted muscles, but it also still has like kind of flanges over the joints and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of unpleasant to look at, I think.
I love that. I'm not going to ask any further questions.
Feels very, very Souls.
I have an image. I have an image.
That's all you need.
I think Schroeter, my salamander, I like to think actually that it's sort of it almost walks on all fours. It's like a knight but hunched over, kind of hunchback.
Hell yeah! I love Dark Souls 3 Dancer of the Boreal Valley.
More Vort, but yeah.
Vort. Yeah.
Yeah, he's big. And I think articulated.
What if a
plate
Zoid
and
was
all
a
that.
dude?
And then I think because he's a salamander and essentially fire breath is his whole thing. I think on his back is like it's some sort of Magitech future fantasy gun, but it looks like a pirate cannon. Like it looks like that.
Yeah.
It's just like a black powder cannon.
Excellent.
I love it.
That, yeah.
I think Tyr looks like a crow or a raven, with like an almost comically elongated beak.
Little plague doctor.
A little, very plague doctor. Like probably even down to like a little bit of like a cowl over the face. It has the bones and it has the feathers, but whoever made this kind of forgot to put in like the muscle, so it's kind of skeletal with these metallic like oil slick feathers sticking out from like the wings and kind of like semi-random areas. It's
like an armature.
Very,
like an armature. Like a half-finished sculpture project.
Yeah,
Very
and like
cool.
you can even kind of see
that.
like the ball joints and the points of articulation. It looks very fragile, but it's also like it's never standing still. Like even when Dom isn't telling it to, like the beak is pointing around and the wings are kind of like twitching and the feathers are, almost breathing,
jumping.
just constant motion.
I'm really feeling the like 70s 80s animation on this.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm feeling heavy metal is what I'm feeling.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, and I like the idea. I'm thinking about these mechs and like I kind of feel like they're all like, are they painted or are they just kind of like bare metal? Like I think I'm bare metal, and I like the idea that you guys are too. But
I agree.
There's this little bit of shit talk, a little bit of banter, and who do we think has the best radar detection in their dragon? Who would be the first to notice something?
It's probably Tyr, isn't it?
Yeah, probably Alan. Yeah.
With the lattice, and just the constant,
I think that makes sense.
looking around. Yeah.
You get a like bing 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 from like off in the distance, and you look and you see something else is entering the atmosphere, and they are further north than you.
Okay, so playing off of the I can't tell a joke or like say anything cool. I'm gonna tell the others, all right, ladies, drop your socks and grab your clocks. It's curtains time.
I think he means we should go faster.
I do love that can't tell a joke doesn't try. It's just
yes.
Where's the fun?
That's my guy.
Tell a joke.
My guy just doesn't try.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He understands.
Dom
Wow,
thinks
wow,
he's the
wow.
funniest person this side of the asteroid belt.
Oh man, I can't wait to kill him.
Oh no, meteors.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think just to play the type, over comms, Harm's Way's kind of quiet voice goes, "Finally," and they just start boosting. And honestly, what they do is they start running. I think when they're in Atmo, Vithar just runs really
I love
fast.
Get Out.
Yeah.
It takes Schroeter a second to get up to speed because he's so heavy, but like he starts galloping essentially.
I think Dom, who was the one who noticed it and called it out, is the last one to actually get going, because I have to like jump, get the repulsor jets to hold me in place, wait for the afterburners to light, but then once they light, boom, baby.
Oh, so you're like, you're a VTOL bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, if that is agreeable.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah! Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I love a weird bird
A
with jet
VTOL
engines.
bird, a hummingbird. You're talking about a hummingbird.
So no, technically I'm talking about literally any bird. Yeah, I think y'all get to run and you are huffing it, you are flying, you are going. Despite the fact that this is a relatively small moon, it's still big. Yeah, I think you're just so focused that you don't notice until it's too late. I want one of you to roll a d3 for me.
Okay. 3.
Alex,
That's me.
how do you react to a building, or what seems to be a building at first, rising out of the ground to try and smother you with a fist of verdant concrete?
Fascinating. Probably with a really big gun.
Excellent. I love it.
It's
So-
just like, there's a thing in front of me and I have too much momentum. I should shoot it so that it's no longer
Alright.
in front of me.
And if that don't work, use more gun.
Yeah.
What we have here for our viewers at home, this is an enemy, and it has structure, which is HP, and it's trying to punch you. This
Sure.
is a reclaimed structural golem.
Concrete golem.
So I'm going to say that it has 6 structure,
Okay.
and now we're doing a fight properly.
Yeah.
The way that this works, so when you roll a check, you decide what magnitude it's going to be at. When you're in a dragon, magnitude 2 is the minimum. Magnitude 4 is the highest. You need to get a number of hits on your dice equal to the magnitude that you are attempting to do. So if you're trying to do a magnitude 2, then you would need to get 2 hits on your dice, and 4, 5, and 6 are hits.
So the player chooses the magnitude.
We describe what we're doing and then we work together to determine what the magnitude is. Although you can specifically call out, I want to do this, but it's that phrase,
Okay.
to do it, you do it, right? So
Sure,
your
sure.
description and the magnitude will match up regardless of which one you start with. You can start with one or the other, but then you just match the other half
Get
to
there
what you just
eventually.
decided.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So you're gonna build a pool of dice. It's gonna be at least a magnitude 2 check. You need 4, 5, and 6 are your hits, and the number of hits that you're looking for are equal to the magnitude that you're rolling at. Additionally, The magnitude of your check is how much structure damage you deal. Keep in mind that the bigger a swing you make, the harder your miss is going to hurt.
Gotcha. So it's like a how hard are you pushing the machine kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. There's some text. If you go to checks, there is a magnitude section that describes in detail what we're looking at here. Magnitude 2 are feats that are like for the specialized elite that may require something purpose-built to the task. You know, going up against a small squad, pushing your jets, keeping your cool in the heat of battle. Magnitude 2 is feats that go beyond the limits of human capability. Things like taking out a gunship on your own, hacking dozens of enemy suits and controlling them, or dodging something faster than light. And Magnitude 4 is incredibly massive, impossible feats of terrifying scale.
Yeah, I think I'm probably a 2 or 3. So what I want to do, and you tell me, you know, like keeping with the fiction that I'm like fast, but I've got a lot of momentum. I want to shoot it and put a hole in it so that I can keep my momentum going and just kind of go through the hole, even if that doesn't kill it immediately.
I like that. I think it's probably going to be a Magnitude 3.
Okay.
Is what we're looking at. If you were just trying to like shoot it, then that would probably be a 2. But it feels like 3 for you to shoot it and jump through it.
Yeah.
Like that's just a little bit extra there. So we're going to build a dice pool, and there's a couple things that you should keep in mind as we do this. You have extra resources at your disposal. You have your refrains, you can push yourself, and you can spend modules as well. Modules work like adventuring gear. You say that you're going to use it, you're going to describe the bonus that you get from it, and then you have it. Let's build your dice pool and see where we're at, and we can kind of go from there. You're going to start with 1 die just for being a pilot. You always get 1 die. You're going to add dice for each point in the focus being used, and this to me does feel more like wing than it feels like breath.
Okay.
Because breath is widespread destruction, and this is kind of focused on that like dexterity aspect of things. And it's not a suit that you're fighting either, so it's not suit-to-suit combat.
Yeah.
Then plus 1 die for each advantage. I don't think there are any advantages here. And lastly, you can gain dice by marking a condition in the track of your choice, and that can be done once per check. Right now, you are sitting at 2 dice.
Right.
You need 3 hits in order to succeed. So presently, you can't actually succeed your check unless you push yourself or spend a module.
You said I could use refrains for stuff?
So refrains, if you use a refrain, you just make something happen.
Okay. Would the I am a curled fist be applicable here? I'm trying to just
I think if you I think if you use that, you don't even have to roll the die because I think it fits perfectly with what you're doing.
It is really cool.
But I want some like juice from this. I want like, how does Ivar channel this refrain and how do we see it manifest?
Remind me the shape of the thing. Am I just looking at a big arm right now?
Yeah, right now it's basically just a big arm that rose up from the ground. It is just trying to smother you.
As the the hand is coming down, right? It's gonna slam down on me. I'm still running. The gun is charging on my back. It's starting to like glow, red hot, and there's a little smoke coming out of it. And right as the arm is like on its way down, as the swing begins, I jump toward the palm and fire right before I hit it, and then pop out the other side of the back of the hand.
Just fully punch through.
Yeah. You're an open hand, I'm a curled fist. Fuck you. Like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. I think that fits great.
And then I come out the other side in the superhero landing.
We had set this up as being Magnitude 3, so I'm going to go ahead and deal that damage to this thing's structure. So it has 3 structure left. You don't necessarily need to kill it.
Yeah.
And I think a good twist here would be that, it's having trouble getting its bearings now. Like you knocked this hand off balance. And I think that lets Harm's Way and Dom just smooth past, and y'all can keep running if you want to.
I'm good with that.
Or would one of you try and blow this up?
I'm good with
Harm's
staying
Way
focused on the
is
mission.
on is
On mission.
on mission
Excellent.
for sure.
Yeah, I already got the
Excellent.
momentum.
I think
Why
that-
turn around?
Yeah, I love it. I am going to click up y'all's conflict clock by 1, but I am also going to click up the opposition's conflict clock by 1, as y'all are taking time to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah, do y'all have any thoughts on getting there quick or unnoticed or anything, or are we just going full bore running for it?
I feel like that's a question for Dom and Tyr.
Yeah, unnoticed is not really my domain.
Yeah, I think because we've been we've fought together more than a few times. I imagine we've set up a little bit of a rhythm where Tyr is primarily, scout recon. So I think Tyr is going to rise up like a little bit above this city, so that he doesn't crash into any buildings. Light those afterburners one more time, and so question about how the modules work. Can I just populate the modules as will, but I only have room for 3? Is that kind of how that works?
Correct.
Yeah,
Alright.
basically you have room for 3 modules. Don't write anything in there until you use one.
Okay.
And note that the way that they work is when you use one, you describe it, and then either A, get +1 to any focus for the rest of the conflict, or B, get a guaranteed boon on your current check no matter the result of the roll.
Okay, gotcha. So I have an idea for a module that I think makes a lot of sense for Tyr. It's like an advanced sensor suite. Like I can see slightly over the horizon. I can see in like every spectrum of light, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like
So-
you knew that this
Yeah.
was like a search mission, so you brought
Yeah, you brought a
this,
sensor package. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I love it. So do you want to have +1 to lattice?
That sounds perfect.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
So I'm gonna name this the Charon Eye Advanced Sensor Suite.
I feel like
'Cause
there's a Odin's Raven joke somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I'm a crow, so I gotta know where the best place to eat is. What died recently?
Carrion's Eye is in all caps, meaning that we know it's an acronym, which I am very happy about.
Cool. Carrion
There we
High.
go.
That's
That's
a
awesome.
long-
Yeah, so
acronym.
Yeah.
are you trying to just get a bead on what's going, like trying to scout, trying to get some info here?
So I think most of what I want to do while I'm up here is we have a rough idea of where the dragon is. I want to map out this weird environment that we had no idea was here. Basically, I want to find what's the quickest path through here, and just avoiding any other obstacles. So, kind of going
Okay.
up, and I imagine on my screen.
You're scouting, you're mapping, you're cartographing.
Plotting a route. Maybe you have
I sort of
a
like it.
maybe you have like a lidar thing you can see into the ground a little bit
Yeah.
and map out where there might be
Let's,
more of those golems, and we can zigzag around them.
I'll give you
Yeah.
a choice here.
Okay.
If you do this at a regular magnitude 2, you can find the fastest route, and avoid, depending on how your die roll goes, likely avoid pretty much any issues.
Mm-hmm.
If you do this at a magnitude 3, I'll give you all of that, and we'll just get you right at the ruins. We'll just say we'll skip ahead if you do this at a mag 3.
Okay.
Can you get a
I'll
third die
take
or a fourth die?
Yes. So for me, that'd be a 4th die. I will take that deal, and I will, if it's all right, I will add a 4th die to mark a damage condition. And here's my reason why. I'm making myself a hell of a target. I'm throwing off a lot of heat with these thrusters, and I'm
literally
just
catch flag.
yeah. Anyone who looks up can see me. So
Oh, yeah. So you're at 4 dice.
okay, sweet.
46.
And 4, 5, and 6 are successes.
You want to get 3 hits.
I don't suppose this is one of those systems where 6s explode.
They do not.
Then in that case, I only got 2 successes.
All right. So what that means is that you got a Pyrrhic result.
Okay.
Good news is it's still a success. At a Pyrrhic result, your action was either ill-timed, poorly chosen, or predicted by the enemy. Despite accomplishing your goal, the situation had suddenly deteriorated beyond your control. 1. Your desired effect comes to pass, which means that thing I said you were going to get at Mag 3, you get it. 2. The poet can choose fictionally appropriate burdens up to the number of misses you rolled. So you rolled 1 miss there. No, you rolled 2 misses.
I rolled 2 misses.
You rolled 4 dice.
Yep.
So you rolled 2 misses, which means I get to pick 2 delightful options from the Burdens and Boons table. This game has set outcomes that we can pick from to keep things moving and flavor in delightful ways. You definitely took some damage. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make you take more. We're definitely going to progress y'all's clock because we know that you are getting where you want to be.
Yeah.
I think that whatever hit you, I know what it was. We're going to say that it hit you more. You are going to take a second damage.
Maybe we break that module.
I was thinking of either breaking the module or giving you a negative moment with your anchor.
Oh. I mean...
Yeah, I'm giving you a negative moment with your anchor, and this is as simple as you're not being careful enough.
Yeah. Yeah, she's mad at me, you guys. We talked about this.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Flying too close to the sun over there.
How else am I supposed to work on my tan?
No, that was a good joke. You can't say that.
You're right.
That was a logical punchline.
No. The thing there is that wasn't a joke. He was just genuine.
Yeah.
Right.
So you fly up and you get this view and you get your map and you're like, perfect, excellent. I know exactly what way we need to go. We are going to skip ahead and do that. And, right after you communicate or like hit the send button on the route to your team, you just get knocked out of the sky by a railgun.
Ooh.
And as you are tumbling, you catch a glint in the distance.
Oof.
And you know that's a dragon.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I like the idea that like I'm looking down at the sensor and I get like a quarter of a second just like thermal alert, and then I get hit and just
Oh, what's that?
It just knocks you off.
Just bird with a broken wing headed towards the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you haven't lost your flight capabilities or anything like that. It just caught you so off guard and hit you so hard. That was 2 damage in 1 hit. That's huge.
Yeah.
That is half.
You'll notice that your damage track is half.
For reference audience, we have 4 damage on our tracker here.
Yeah.
I did notice
You have
that.
3 tracks. You have 3 tracks worth 4 damage each. When one of those tracks fills, we get to take a visit to the disaster table. You don't need to worry about that right now. You still have 2.
We'll get there.
You still have 2. Don't worry.
I'm gonna worry a little bit.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know why you would, honestly.
The only one that matters is the last one. So, you boom, slam into the ground. How do you communicate? Like, do you communicate anything about what just happened? How do you move forward from here?
I think there's like a moment of like silence on the comms where you two don't know my status, and then I think I like just cough out like, "Hey Iva, hey Diglo, I think they shot me. Who does that?"
Inbound. And I think that Harm's Way and Vither just again this 4-story tall naked metal man just sprints around the corner and just like does not slow down, just picks you up and throws you back into the air.
Like Bowser.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
No,
yes.
wait a
By
minute!
the
Don't throw me
ankles.
up there. That's where the rail guns are.
Don't get hit. Let's go.
But then we get there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And then we get there. Yeah.
Like you just I imagine you just fly low this time. Like you take the fucking lesson.
Yeah. Now I'm actually using the like the buildings and the trees as cover. Yeah.
Just like Beggar's
And I
Canyon
think,
back home.
You get You get to the edge of the city, and you saw the end of the city when you were up in the air, and it's a pretty stark ending. This was at one point some sort of standing walled structure, and you leave the city limits, and you are in just a relatively open field. It looks like there were highways here at one point, but they're collapsed and just all over the place. Vines, trees, grass growing over everything. And you make your way through this with relative safety, It's eerily quiet, and you notice that there's no, other than the plants, there doesn't seem to be any organic life here. Nothing else is pinging your sensors. That golem didn't trip anything up.
No animals, no bugs.
No animals, no bugs. But people lived here.
And we know that the dragon is right here. Like, this is, like, somewhere nearby as a dragon. Is it to the point where even those of us without, like, those of us, me, is it to the point where even I might be able to detect the dragon?
I think that you all feel like a slight pressure. And you've noticed that your compasses, they're not doing the thing where they spin fully in a circle, but they are like very sensitive to your directions, and they guide you to the point to where they do start to spin rapidly in a circle. And you realize, when you look up from your compasses, you are on the edge of a deep inset sinkhole. Except this is not a sinkhole. This was an amphitheater. You can see the thousands of rows of seats that go miles and miles down into a massive, tiny little stage from this view. And you see, down there, the colors of Merlin and the colors of Avalon. And Harmsway, what does the presence of Siegmund Greatcloud make you feel when you recognize that old bastard's mech standing guard down in the basin?
Yeah. I'll real quickly, Nova, do you want to, I hadn't set a description for this yet, so if you have something, go ahead, but I can whip something up in no time.
You chose a salamander?
I did.
I think, did you have a relationship in mind? Because I have a relationship in mind. I think I'm actually just gonna
do it.
I'm just gonna run with this.
Yeah, run.
What does Vithar's sibling look like?
Vithar's...
Because
mech
Siegmund Greatcloud, Siegmund's mech is your mech's sister.
Fucking fascinating.
It's basically just Melania if you put the armor over all of her.
Yeah,
if
there we
kept
go.
Going with the legs and the arms.
Okay.
And I think that weirdly, there is hair.
Yeah, but it's
I
like
think that
it's a
she
single
has
piece.
long hair in a braid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just standing guard, and I want to know how Harmsway reacts to that.
This is a very weird result. Harmsway is not the one who reacts to it. Vithar is. Vithar is a Drake, and the Drake's once per session is force a single opponent into a duel. And
oh shit.
I think Vithar does this. Have you ever been driving a car and like something in the road made the wheel turn and you're not really sure if you just did that or exactly what just happened?
Wind a pothole.
Yeah, but you're like, I guess I just turned the car. But you don't really know for sure. That's what happens here.
And suddenly you're in a fight?
Yeah, no.
Is this a call out? Does Vithar scream? Or does Vithar just run forward?
I think what happens is kind of like, we're at the edge of the sinkhole and Vithar is like kneeling, and then like the scope zooms in and you see this shape and recognition dawns. It's like just a little beep. There's a little beep somewhere in the cockpit, and Harmsway just like kind of looks up because that is not a normal beep. and Vithar stands and kind of like extends its arms back and then swan dives straight down into the sinkhole and just like is grappling with I didn't ever find the right name for Vithar's sibling, because I
While you're cooking with that, I want to know how Dom and Ivar react to this.
Real quick,
because you just got here.
I will say that
just
Vithar
happened.
is a son of Odin, so you could use any of his mini children.
Oh, so indeed. Let's just see if I can grab.
It's a half sibling at least.
Yeah, I'm looking at this list and trying to.
Because of the way this mechanic works, they're locked into a one-on-one duel, so we can't like jump into fight. But it's just how do we react, right?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Force a single opponent into a duel. They cannot escape.
Okay.
You can do
We can
whatever you
interfere.
want. Absolutely. Fiction first.
That said, though, I imagine there are a lot of like regular mechs here too. If Merlin and Avalon.
Oh,
are
yeah.
present.
After Vithar like jumps off and you react to that, you do notice, oh, there's a chunk of just grunt suits
Right.
here.
Then in
Oh,
that,
it's like a bad guy buffet.
then what do you call it? Schroeter will look toward Tyr, and you'll hear Ivar say, "Well, I wish you would have warned us, but I guess we should jump down there now, yeah."
I think Tyr's response is actually no. I don't think he can come up with a witty response because I can't tell a joke. Like after you make your move, I think Tyr's just like, yeah, well, you should have warned me about your mom, and then jump into the fray right
Before
after
you even finish that, the camera's looking at you. Then it goes back to the wide, and I'm already down there.
Got him.
Yeah, and I guess we fight the grunts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So grunts have plenty of structure as well.
Right, just as a swarm, they share a pool of health, basically.
Makes sense.
What I am essentially doing here is there are 2 squads of grunts that each have 3 structure.
Okay.
Additionally, there is a custom that has 7 structure. So these grunts, I think, they look like knights. They're not dragons. These grunts are not dragons, and neither is the custom. They are whatever our standard mech are. So they are like decked out in hard light weaponry and armor. They are connected with muscle made of pink light that seems to drip when it moves. And they are periodically, covered in these seemingly ornamental plastisteel plates that give emphasis to certain parts of them. But other than that, they kind of just look like dudes. They got guns, they got some melee weapons. They look fantastic and wild. The custom, you notice, has a unique head that is different than the others. The others have these kind of these helmets with like a single eye kind of in the middle of the mono eye, like Zaku style. The custom is like that without the helmet. In where the head helmet thing should be is just an orb that is floating in place, connected only by like ropey tendrils of hard light that like wobble around.
Man, we
as
got
it
a
moves.
duo boss fight of Melania and the Frenzy Lord guy.
Yeah. Who wants to go swinging first?
Well, I do think that
You started it, so-
Harmsway and Vithar has
Oh,
the
yeah.
jump in a literal
Yeah.
sense.
let's go in order.
I think absolutely. Do you say something to Sigmund, or does Sigmund say something to you?
Sigmund says something to me, probably.
Oh, ha, Dayglow! It's about fucking time you showed up.
I'm not here for you, Sigmund.
Oh, you may not be, but Vithar sure is. And then just fucking cold clocks you. Not enough to deal damage. Y'all are just... It's... how do you pronounce that name?
Sangreither.
Sure.
Sangreither. I don't know. It's the th. That's the F there. So it's
spelled just like it sounds.
Exactly.
Okay, bud. So Sangreither and Vithar are like unarmed.
Yes.
I don't think y'all have weapons.
No.
Y'all are just... It's big naked metal people duking it out.
Yes.
And that's as terrifying as it sounds.
Oh man, I don't want to brag, but I have that DVD.
Yeah. No, and I really imagine it like our hands, like when we make contact, it sparks every time.
I think that it's a spark and it's like a loud, resounding clang. It is not a romantic sound.
No.
It is not a romanticized sound. It is this horrid thing that, those grunts in their suits probably have to cover their ears or they wince every time a fist connects. What do you do?
So Vithar was kind of fighting on his own, and so now I'm like, okay, let me help out, because Vithar is not a man of tactics, right? So I kind of intervene and take a little bit more control and introduce like the sweet science, right? I see a wide swing coming in from Sangreither, and Vithar is not going to respond to that. So excellent. I just sort of do a yeah.
You roll some dice is what you do.
Well,
this is what I was getting to, Quinn.
Yeah, hit him.
Yeah.
We're on punch the fucker.
Yeah, it's a punch.
We'll describe how you go after we see.
We'll see how good you roll, and then we'll see how good you punch.
Something that's great about Rivals is that every check made against a rival is a magnitude 3 at minimum. This is absolutely a Fang check because this is suit-to-suit combat. So you are starting with 3 dice.
Yeah. I am going to pop a module in, and it's going to be called the Cruel Knuckle. Pop an extra
What's that giving you?
Fang on there, and
can't get you up to 4 dice.
It just makes sense to me to take damage and injury on this.
You can only
I
take
can only do one, so we'll call it damage. So that is 1 for being a pilot, 2 for Fang, 1 for the Cruel Knuckle, and another
1 for getting clobbered. So that's 5 dice. You are looking for 3 hits.
And I have got them 3 precisely.
3 precisely. That is a proud result. Your desired effect comes to pass and you pick 1 boon. The poet picks 1 burden. So first things first, the desired effect here, Sangreither takes a condition, or Sigmund takes a condition.
Yep.
Because rivals have condition tracks just like you do, you don't deal extra damage by doing a bigger attack against them. What boon are you going to take from this list?
I am going to take Inspire a Teammate. And kind of what this looks like is what you were describing about the sound. Just absolutely like it. The sound of this battle is kind of distracting, if not incapacitating, the rest of Merlin's forces. And so whoever moves next, you are going to have that extra element of surprise, because right now everyone is like, what the fuck is going on?
The sound, it reminds me of the Forge. So yeah, if we're going in order, since I jumped in second.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was getting the die for this?
It was Alex.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, excellent.
I would like to just sort of shoot into the grunts. I think you said they have 3 structures, so I think I'll go for a magnitude 3.
Oh, I have to pick a. I have to pick a burden.
Oh, right, for him to take.
You are Quinn. You're gonna take a 2nd damage. We're gonna keep it simple.
That seems good to me.
All right, Alex. Now you're up. You said you were gonna fire at them grunts. We've got 2 squads of grunts here. We're just going to say you're firing at Squad 1. They're kind of standing around a small group of people who are operating some machinery. Like, there are people not in suits here that are digging something or inspecting something. It's hard to tell, what given with the big robots.
With the big robot of it all.
What with the big robot?
Yeah, so shooting them is breath?
So breath is widespread destruction.
Okay.
Think of it as AoE, firing with reckless abandon. We can absolutely give you breath here, but there's no telling how that could go bad for you.
Right. So I get 1 for pilot, 2 for breath.
What magnitude are you kind of aiming for here? These grunts, each squad has 3.
Right, I would need 3 to kill one of them outright, so I would like to aim for 3. I think I can do a module to get myself to 3 breath, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I will say that the module is, what do you call it? Like, keeping with like the sort of big heavy iron cannon thing. I think I pop out some swivel guns, some smaller cannons.
Yeah.
I love it.
More gun.
I love it.
And fire.
Cool. I've already marked down your +1 breath down in the temporary bonuses, so nothing to worry about there. And I think that, this is just firing with reckless abandon
a full
here
salvo,
at this
a full broadside, essentially.
Absolutely. So that's 1 for being a pilot, 3 for breath. So you're at 4 dice. And then 5 die because you have that inspiration.
Okay, sick.
So you're looking for 3 hits.
Yep, again, precisely 3 hits. 3, 3, and 6. The other 2 were 1s, so...
Okay, excellent. Good thing we don't have critical failures. Unless you get no hits. Somebody needs to get no hits for me on a big die roll. It's great for me, specifically. So, this is a proud result. So, first things first, you get what you want. So, you just annihilate these fuckers. They are absolutely shredded by your fire.
Hell yeah.
What is the boon that you pick? Head to the burdens and boons section, just above conditions.
I'll pay it forward. I will give Alan the inspiration for his next action.
Oh, sweet. I like that.
Excellent. I love that.
Yeah, we're just kind of keeping the disorientation going.
Yeah, shock and awe. They're on the back foot. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Someone else suffers for your failure.
Okay.
You are firing with reckless abandon.
Yeah.
And because of that, Vithar is right in the middle of it. Really just bare knuckle brawling with a big naked metal lady. And Vithar takes another damage.
That is rough.
And then I think also we are going to tick up your clock because you are progressively thinning their forces here. The way that these clocks work, anytime you do something successfully that makes sense to be progress towards your goal, we get to tick that up. If you do a magnitude 4 check and succeed it, we tick it up 3 times. Just keep that in mind, just in case. And so we move on to Dom. I think that, you are, here you're probably flying around, doing some sort of a search pattern to find your opening. And what I'm calling the Calliope Custom is firing upon you with these dual-wielded semi-automatic pistols that are shooting laser blasts at you.
I love that name, by the way, the Calliope Custom. I would like to nimbly dodge out of the way, and I would like to make up a new module, if that is all right.
That is absolutely all right.
All right. I was looking up names of other birds in Norse mythology, and I came up with a Reisvelgir, which is the eagle from which the wind originates. And I'm going to say these are countermeasure pods, so like chaff or flares that make me harder to hit. Yeah. And I would like to apply those to wing, if that is, if that's all right.
Yeah, that'll bring your wing up to 3, which is the max.
So that would be 4 dice. So 3 from wing and then 1 from being a pilot.
tell me a little bit more about like what you're trying to do here. Are you trying to harm the Calliope custom? Are you trying to distract and create an opening for someone else to get in there? Are you trying to pull it away somehow?
I think I am trying to distract not only the Calliope custom, I'm trying to pull aggro from the Calliope and from as many of the grunts as possible so that I can give Ivar a straight shot to go and support Harm's Way.
I'm giving you this choice again.
Mm-hmm.
You can do magnitude 2 and get the attention of the Calliope, or you can do magnitude 3 and get all of their attention.
I'm sitting at 2 damage if I don't do well.
You do have 5 die.
I do. Well, I got 4. Oh no, I do have inspiration.
Because
You're
I've
right.
given you the inspiration.
That's right. 5 dice. You know what? Fuck it. We caw. Because I'm a bird.
Damn, I
Fuck
love
it,
that.
bird
Thank you very
time.
much. New t-shirt.
Got it. Yeah,
New
yeah,
shirt.
I'll take
Yeah. Going for the 3. All right, roll that beautiful bean footage and tell me how many hits you get. You're looking for 3 of them.
it. That is, well, I got 4. I got 2 6s,
great.
2 5s, and a 2, so...
That is our first pinnacle result. Your desired effect comes to pass, and you may choose boons equal to the number of hits you rolled over the number needed to achieve proud at your action's magnitude. So you get 2 boons here. So first, I think absolutely we tick up y'all's clock again because you are successfully pulling that aggro away.
Yeah.
I think that you hear over like a staticky speaker from the Calliope, "Stop fucking moving, you stupid bird!"
Do I recognize that voice?
Do you want to recognize that voice?
I don't know. Seems like maybe the kind of thing that somebody I know might say. If that is my rival, then I will bust out laughing over the radio, and I will call out, "Ha ha ha ha! Hey, Magnus, live free or die! Here's Dom in your eye!" Because that's hilarious. It rhymes, you guys.
Excellent. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is
it.
great.
We're going to say that Magnus Reeve, your rival, pilots the Calliope Custom. I've taken away that structure clock and turned it into a rival one. So you don't have anything to worry about there. That doesn't make things worse for you. And you know what? I think that's so incredibly funny. I am actually going to give you a refrain for that.
Okay.
Nice.
You are getting the refrain in your eye.
Cool. So cool.
Oh, I see. That's for.
Mhm.
I see. Never mind. Yeah.
Real quick,
I
you all
love
keep
that.
going. I just really have to pee, and it's not my turn, so I'll be right back.
Yep.
No worries.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, so you get 2 boons
Okay.
here. You get to pick 2 boons if you had to, again, just above conditions or like right at the bottom of the outcomes section in the main dock. There is a burdens and boons table, and you get to pick 2 of them.
Okay, I would like to mark a positive moment on an anchor because I would really love Claudette to see me acting to protect my fellow pilots and not just for my own glory.
Yeah, I think this moment is, I knew you could be a shield.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
And that is a positive moment. And yeah, I think that she's probably seeing this. I imagine y'all have she's the dispatcher. She's in a watching kind of position. I imagine there's a satellite drone that she is piloting that is watching over the conflict and giving you, additional input. And you get 1 more boon.
I would like to deal 1 additional damage, and I think the way I do this is all of the different mechs are shooting at me that like they get hit by their own crossfire. So I take out like a few of like the grunts or something. Or they take each other
Excellent.
out rather.
I like that. So this was a magnitude 3. Technically not a fang roll for suit-to-suit combat, but that's fine. Doesn't super matter. I think that this takes out a suite of the grunts, and I think that collateral that you get is the Calliope custom just gets fucking clocked, and they also take a condition. I think Magnus just grunts and goes like, fucking hate this bird. And yeah, I think you're just flying with so much style that both of the, all the grunts that were left, they have just taken themselves out. Smooth, easy, no issues at all. And we move back over to Harm's Way, who is locked in fisticuffs.
Absolutely locked, but I know precisely what needs to happen. I'm going to sing a refrain. I am one of many. One of the machine archetypes refrains. And this works on 2 levels. I am one of many, of course, is I am a soldier, I'm a cog, but it also means that Vithar is one of the many children of Odin, as is Sangrather. And so this fusion where both of us are part of this thing, Vithar and Sangrather are by nature evenly matched. I provide the edge. And what I want to do with this, frankly, is I want to take Sangrather out. And, this is one of those things where it's not going to work more than once.
You're trying to skip to the end of the fight.
Yes. Yeah, I have
a
special combo or whatever that I do, like a special program.
Absolutely.
That I've been cooking up just for this.
That, like in Avatar when Ty Lee turns people's arms off, you just hit a bunch of pressure points and
I actually really like that. Whatever the case may be, we can absolutely do this. You are using the refrain to just fully take out your rival here. What do we think the twist to this is, y'all? And the twist can be positive or negative. I'm not going to contribute to this because I have something I'm going to do that Quinn's going to hate.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, someone help me out. Someone balance this. I don't think I have one locked and loaded.
What do you mean the twist?
Every time someone uses a refrain, everybody else at the table gets to kind of add a twist to it.
If they want.
Like a narrative twist. Like, we can modify it in this way, or we also get this benefit, or this bad thing happens. I mean, you did say that this is probably only going to work once, and that could be the twist, that you're never going to be able to use this refrain in this way against your rival or any of the other children again.
I have a variation on that. We now, if Sangrather is your dragon sibling, if that works on Sangrather, it also works on you.
Ha!
I love that. That's really good. You're not going to be able to do this to Sangrather again, and it is now known that it could work on you as well.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Now, normally, this would probably fill up your rival's conditions all the way. But Sigmund is a revenant. Oh wait, no, dang it! I had the rival abilities mixed up.
Yep.
All right, that's fine. I was thinking of the
old revenant ability.
Which one was it? Yeah, the old revenant ability used to be that they return from the brink of death.
Development.
So instead, we absolutely boom. The rival is taken out. I think that Sigmund is just kind of exasperated about this.
Yeah, because it's not like
in there
he
trying
lost,
to make
Sangrather
things
did.
move.
Yeah, he wasn't really
exactly. This doesn't feel like a good outcome to him. And because this was a rival, I'm going to tick up y'all's conflict clock twice here.
Yeah, and
so
I think
very nearly one.
I do think that I'm not necessarily a big one for one-liners, but I do think as Sigmund beats whatever retreat, Harm's Way is just like, I told you I wasn't here for you.
I love it. Yeah, I think that's great.
Because Harm's Way is also annoyed. Harm's Way also did not want to deal with this.
And I think that just to make things really nice and even, I think you all get another one of those radar pings. Ivar, you look up to the sky and you recognize that flash of light.
Oh, good.
You'd know it anywhere. Hunter is here and has landed, is trying to land on top of you. What do you do?
Well, I mean, I think we've kind of established that I have one trick.
Yeah, let's do it. You gonna blast them?
So anyway, I started
So
blasting.
anyway,
Yeah, absolutely. Are you doing this as breath again, or are you gonna try and target in?
I think because of the suddenness of it, I think I will, and because I've got my module on this already, I think I'll do it as breath. Just firing upward, and if there's bad results, then it's, fire coming back down.
Spray and pray is absolutely how Schroeter works.
The idea being that if I hit him, A, whatever, there's some damage, but B, he also goes off course and doesn't land on me.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it a lot. Best case, you get some damage and don't get squashed. Worst case, you probably get squashed. I dig it. I think you are at 4 dice because pilot and 3 breath.
Yep.
So that puts you at 4 when you need 3 hits. Are you pushing yourself in any way?
This is magnitude 3?
Yeah, this is magnitude 3.
When I do the push myself thing, does it have to be damage specifically, or can I do the other ones?
It can be any condition.
Okay.
But you can mark it once per check. Additionally, you can use modules count as like a kind of pushing yourself.
Then I like the idea that I'm going to put 1 point on injuries, on the injuries track. I like the idea that because I'm firing so rapidly and on all cylinders, it's getting so fucking hot in this thing. And it's made of
You're
metal,
cooking.
and it's it's getting spicy in here. So I will roll with 5.
All right, so that's 5 dice. You're looking for 3 hits.
That's exactly 3 again. 5, 4, 4.
I gotta tell y'all, we are rolling really well.
We are.
This session.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna start being meaner now.
No, I rolled real bad.
So
actually.
yeah, your desired effect, your desired effect comes to pass, and you pick 1 boon. The poet picks 1 burden. So your desired effect here, you were hoping to deal some damage, and I think boom, you smack him for a condition, and Hell is knocked off course, and not by much. Hell lands right by you, and kind of rises from this like smoke and impact dust. What is the boon that you're going to pick?
So because he's right next to me, is that going to force me into like sort of a hand-to-hand situation?
Doesn't have to.
Okay.
There's not like range
Gotcha.
or anything like that in this game.
And you know what? 1 additional damage. Fuck you. I shoot you really hard.
Okay, I love it. And I get to pick a burden.
Indeed.
It's really hot in there.
It is. Okay.
It's just so toasty in there. You're just taking another injury as you just
Fair.
start to sweat. You are like approaching heat stroke right now. Your vision is blurry and it's difficult to focus. And I think Hunter's voice comes over the loudspeaker and is just, I didn't expect to see you here, Ivar. How wonderful we finally get to meet again on the field of battle after all this time. And they are immediately going to use their once per combat,
Okay.
which is they call upon their retinue, reinforcing themselves with the number of elites equal to the amount of conditions they can take.
Oh dear.
Hunter can take 4 conditions. That means we're getting 4 elites. Right after they say this, 4 more impact craters
Little ODSTs.
surrounding you as these. But yeah, those 4 impact craters land, and it is more of those Calliope frame mechs, but they are decked out in massive ornamental like metals.
Well,
And elites, just so you're aware, have 7 to 12 structure. I'm going to say that these each have 10.
Oh, fuck.
should we run away?
Terms of engagement.
You've
just
almost
changed, people.
you've almost won.
That's true. If we can just,
Okay, so I'm looking at everybody's situation. All right, this could be better. We could be doing better here, guys.
And let's remember, all we have to do to win is claim the new dragon. That's the only thing we have to do to finish this thing. And the actions we take only have to dedicate themselves to that.
You know, that's a fantastic point, Quinn. Is the dragon currently exposed? Can I get to it?
There is a part of it So there was previously a crew of people kind of manning some like mining equipment, and they were working on raising it out.
Sorry about that.
You can see, yeah. Now there's some singe marks on the ground where they were, and you can see like most of an arm and like the left side of a chest is sticking out. You can see a neck and like a collarbone. You can't fully see like a head, but it's like hanging by some tether cables that are trying to pull it up.
Okay. I'm gonna very much make myself a sitting duck here. That's a bird joke.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if I got it or not.
Alan is allowed to make jokes.
Yes. Dom is not.
This is what we call bleed.
Something Ludo narrative something. I am going to, I would like to land on the exposed dragon, grab it with Tyr's talons, and then just dump fuel directly into the afterburners and try and like pull this thing up out of the ground and away from the battlefield.
Just working on stealing it.
Just I'm a crow. This thing's shiny. I'm gonna let's do this.
So I love this. This is great. I think this is actually a lattice check because your focus here is on carrying something heavy, not on going fast.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that the focus here is on like using your crow's abilities to make sure you have a good grip and paying attention to your sensors to avoid getting shot out of the fucking sky again.
That makes sense.
Right.
Okay, so one.
So I think this is lattice, and I think that this one's actually just a magnitude 2.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, one from pilot, one from lattice. I need 2 successes.
You're currently at 3.
Yeah, you've got 2 lattice from your...
Oh, that's right.
You're at 3 dice, right?
I do. That's right. Yeah, that applies to all kinds
not
of stuff.
bad, but...
I would actually... I'm still gonna mark 1 injury on the theory that, I am, gonna build up a lot of heat building up this this like afterburner and
or a lot of G-force when you suddenly go from stopped to full speed.
Or both, yeah.
Like it's maybe so that we can like flavor it away from the heat. Maybe it's like using the suit. It's the pressure of the dragon. There's this raw dragon that is emitting this psychokinetic force.
Sure.
You're getting a fucking like you're getting a cluster headache from
extra
this.
dose of radiation or whatever, basically.
Proposal then, maybe this is not an injury, maybe this is a woe. If this thing is sending out like psychic like
True.
I like it. Yeah, take a
look. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're like
Yeah.
screaming and crying as you do it, yeah.
Oh man. Oh
Like a
yeah.
man Drake?
Absolutely. So you've got 4 dice now?
4 dice
Yeah.
total, yeah. So I need 2
4
successes.
dice, you need 2 hits. Go for it.
Also, Quinn, I think you just named this mech. I think this is Mandrake.
I might have. Yeah.
Not
What?
a bad name.
I can move the camera down so you can see this. That's 4 successes.
4 successes. I love it.
Yes.
Damn, I was kind of hoping this would be the fail, just so we would see one. But
I was also kind of hoping that it would be. So here's how
It'd
this
be funny.
works. You have achieved a pinnacle, and you choose boons equal to the number of hits you rolled over the number needed to achieve proud. So first, you do get your result here. I don't think that you like get away.
yeah, that'd
You
be too
pull
much.
this thing fully out of the ground now without like taking damage from anything. I think that this thing's, I think that Mandrake's presence is affecting everyone on the battlefield, and people are just missing left and right, and the mechs themselves are like doubled over.
Like fuck with our targeting systems, yeah.
You've got 2 boons to pick.
Okay, I would like one of the boons to be gain a module by stealing technology from the enemy, but in this case, it's not the enemy. I think maybe Tyr is just suffused with that like psychic scream, and now like any enemy mechs that get too close, like they get I'm just gonna call it with like 14 H's.
I like it. I like it. That's pretty funny to see on a character sheet.
And
What type of module do you think this is? Are you adding one to a stat, or are you gaining a guaranteed boon on your next check?
I think I would like a guaranteed.
I think so.
Yeah, guaranteed boon on my next check. Just like
it doesn't quite fit into any of the 4 categories.
Yeah, like kind of fang, sort of, because you have to be close, but yeah.
Also kind of breath because it hits everybody. Like,
yeah.
I think that doing it as the guaranteed boon is funny.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually.
And
That was one boon.
And I think the other one, I did it last time, but it just makes too much sense. Deal 1 additional damage. I make some heads explode.
Yeah. I mean, I think what happens here, I mean, heads aren't going to explode because the retinues all have tin structure.
Fair.
But they all, like, take a damage from simply being around this.
I like that a lot.
To be very, very clear, Dom is not doing this on purpose, and Dom is not having a good time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think Dom is like seeing dead kings and like crying for his mother, but that's neither here nor there.
you're on a
Absolutely.
bad trip right now, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think let's go ahead and Dayglow, what are you up to?
I think Alan, remind me. So the precise position of the Mandrake right now, is it fully out of the ground or mostly?
It is fully out of the ground, and Dom is like working on getting into the air proper, but it's very difficult because dragons are heavy.
Yeah, I haven't gotten away with it yet. I'm probably like...
Granted, we are in Charon gravity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. So, I am going to take a woe here.
Wow.
And I'll explain that in a second. And I'm going to spend my 2 remaining modules, which one is going to be...
I'm making my thinking face. I'm pondering reactions.
Oh wait, I keep forgetting that modules don't do that anymore. I forgot that they
We'll never know.
do that.
Game development.
I'm still gonna rock this.
You can do it as guaranteed boons instead.
Huh? Can I? You don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what you're doing because you're taking
you haven't
forever.
described it.
Okay, what I'm...
Yeah, you
you're
haven't
right,
told
I was
us.
having too much fun. Okay, what I'm doing is I want to grab the Mandrake and throw it into orbit.
You want to Bowser it.
I want to Bowser it.
Okay.
And you know what?
Okay.
And yeah, okay. So if it goes off, I'll describe it. And this I'm doing specifically as a Mag 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this is a magnitude.
It's a Mag 4
absolutely.
because, and especially because this will quite definitively claim the new dragon. If I can pull
If
this
you
off.
Throw it at our ship, yeah.
Yeah.
If you succeed, it'll be 3 ticks of the conflict
Yep.
clock. I love this a lot. I think Fang fits. This isn't technically like combat, but you know, Fang is the muscle, the fighty,
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
I see why you're taking a woe now. Are you still gonna, so you're currently at 5 dice.
I am currently at 5 dice and I do not feel good about that.
Do you want to gain some guaranteed boons?
Man.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Okay, it's gonna be some guaranteed...
Modules.
Here's
yeah.
the thing. We're gonna do
So-
a guaranteed boon because these guaranteed boons, if I don't win, right, then it will soften the blow.
True. Yeah, it'll at least hurt less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And as we've said, we kind of want something to fail more. We want to fail a bit more. I don't want to use either of my onces right now. I just don't think I would here. And, you know, fuck it. 5 dice? I could still get it, right? I could still get a magnitude 4 with 5 dice.
You could totally get it. The odds are literally not 0.
The odds are not 0. So I'm going to do that, and I am going to get a couple of modules here for guaranteed boons. And And I kind of think, like, one is going to be ankle jets, and I'll describe how those get into this in a second.
I think we know how they.
Yeah. And then I guess the other one I am going to call shoulder armature.
Yeah, perfect.
And
just reinforced shoulders.
In case y'all are curious, the woe here is that I am doing something besides murder. I'm dedicating myself to trying to finish this, despite the fact that there are perfectly good people to murder right in front of me. And so...
All right, Quinn.
5 dice.
Roll those 5 dice for me so that I can really fuck you up if this fails.
That is 2 hits.
Oh boy. You got 2 hits?
I got 2. I got 2 hits.
Damn. You're so lucky that pitiful is only if you get 0 hits.
That's Pyrrhic.
So...
It's going to be very Pyrrhic.
That is
I have a feeling.
Pyrrhic. So your desired effect comes to pass. The poet can choose fictionally appropriate burdens up to the number of misses you rolled.
Which is 3.
You rolled 5 dice, so that's 3 burdens that I get to do here?
Yep.
Well, first things first, your desired effect comes to pass. And that was a magnitude 4. You succeeded it, so that puts y'all up at the max of that conflict. But, oh boy! We are gonna make you...
It's not over yet.
I'm gonna make this really simple. And I think that Harm's Way Dayglow takes 3 more woes.
Oof. That's all the woes.
Maxing out your woes condition track. Quinn, would you like to roll on the disaster table?
Nothing would make me happier.
This is Quinn's first time rolling on the disaster table.
This is also my first time having my rival show up.
I wonder what that means. So the way the disaster table works, anytime a condition track fills, the pilot whose track filled rolls 1d6 per full condition track, including those of other pilots, on the disaster table. Right now, that's 1. I could have made this worse. I chose not to. You're welcome. So you're going to roll 1d6 on here, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
This reminds me a little bit of the panic table from Mothership, but with a bunch of d6s.
Yes, that is kind of... I can definitely see the comparison there. Except it's got d6s and war crimes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What?
3. The poet sings a song of horror. They immediately gain a refrain. And perhaps immediately use it as well.
Well, I mean, it's a one-shot, so you might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Yep, so I am getting the refrain, A Mandrake's Shriek.
Oh, no.
And
as it goes.
And I think what happens is it gets to low orbit and stops mid-air.
Oh.
And everyone is going to take a woe.
Okay. Let's see. That's my first woe.
Quinn, you take an injury.
Swag.
Because your woes are full. And I think that this happens, this massive shriek, and this thing that you can see now is it's another naked metal person, but it's wrong in some way. Its proportions are incorrect. It is lanky. When it stops mid-air, its back bursts open, and these armature-styled dripping wings come out. And you realize that these wings are organic. Not of flesh, but of sinewy plant life.
Oh, shit.
And when it shrieks, the basin that you are in, this amphitheater, cracks open. And that's where we're gonna call it.
Hell yeah. I need somebody to draw that shit, by the way.
Somebody draw this! Oh, man.
Okay, no joke, Alex. I was about to offer, like, if you want graphics for this, like, I will draw the pilots or the mechs, and I will absolutely draw that.
I won't stop you.
Fuck yeah.
That would be so amazing.
Thanks for playing. That's Dragon Reactor.
That's Dragon Reactor.
That was sick as hell.
Hot damn.
Yeah, that was great. We'll talk about it in a second. As we do, as we begin to wind things down here. First, remind folks again, where can they get the game and when?
So, yeah, if you enjoyed what you heard, you should absolutely head to bytes.rip/dreams. That's bytes.rip/dreams, like the thing you have when you sleep. We are coming to BackerKit on August 1st. We have a relatively small goal of $7,000 so that we can get art, layout, and print on this. If you back within the first 48 hours, you get early access to the in-dev document as well as access to a special, temporarily secret Dragon Reactor channel on the Dinoberry Press Discord. There is also a free demo that is out and available. It doesn't have everything that we use today, but that's at bytes.rip/dreams demo, and it's awesome. The layout was done by my wonderful spouse, Jam. And if you want a print copy of the demo, they are available from now until the end of the crowdfunding campaign at dinoberrypress.com. It's $5 if you just want the print copy, or if you spend $20 on literally anything on the site. That's games, stickers, stationery, anything. You get a free copy of the demo included in that.
Hell yeah. And of course, links in the description.
Good to know that the demo is like this really sick pre-made setting. Super, super fun. The pre-made characters and rivals are just so awesome. Like, making your own characters is super great and fun, and that's the full game. But even in the demo, even these pre-mades, holy shit, they rock.
They're very, very juicy, and it comes with 3 missions, 3 conflicts that you can play in the pre-made setting. It works as a great one-shot. It works as a great starting point for the campaign. And again, it's free.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much for bringing this to us and running it. Incredibly fun. The thing we like to do here at the end is just have a little quick sort of discussion about game design, mechanics and inspirations and all that sort of stuff. I have to note that this is the 4th mecha related game we've had on the channel in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
We have played Lancer, we have played Salvage Union, and we played We Dig Giant Robots. Alan was in that. So this is number 4 now. And I'm always amazed at how you take the same, like, bare bones pitch of it's a TTRPG and there are big robots and you drive them and fight other big robots. And all 4 of those games are so incredibly different from each other. So I'm wondering, you talked a lot about your inspirations in other media, Armored Core and Gundam and all those. Mechanically, how did you go about deciding, like, we know the vibe we want, how do we want to put this to rules? What were your inspirations for rules?
It was such a fucking process.
I'm sure.
It really was.
Quinn and I have been working on this game for 2 hours a week for almost 3 years now. 2 to 3 hours a week. And, we started with figuring out what our touchstones were and why. We figured out, why do we want these specific shows, these specific takes, these specific stories. And from there, it became a matter of trying out different mechanics until we found something that hit in a way that we really wanted and that really amplified those themes. Every single decision we made as we were working on this game was, how do we push the theme?
Yeah.
How does this work? How does this resonate?
And I think, like, I think the single mechanic that really exemplifies this process is that core magnitude check.
Yeah.
Right? The check system and the magnitude system, because the core theme of this game, the idea that started it, was in the original Gundam series, a Gundam is thematically similar to a nuke, right? It's this one thing, this one soldier that changes the whole war. It wins the war by itself. And the magnitude system was us kind of taking that and going, what does it mean to literally pilot a nuke? What does it mean to walk onto the battlefield and for the whole thing to warp around you? And so the magnitude system was our way of creating that exponential curve of what a mech does to a combat scenario. Sure, a mech can just pop in and, like, blow up a few grunts or whatever, but it can also change everything in an instant. And so the check system, and in particular the way that it also, when you play it, it's hefty, it's weighty. You can feel the buildup and feel the follow through. So both from a thematic sense and then also from a mechanical game feel sense, the magnitude check system really exemplifies the way that we thought about this game.
And we do want to give full credit here. So the dice pool thing, that's just a dice pool. You're just rolling dice. Everybody knows how a dice pool works. I love designing with them. The magnitude system itself comes from Amarent by Ava Islam, which is a really, really cool OSR game. The way that it uses magic in that game is a very, very similar system. We twisted it. We worked it into what we have here in Dragon Reactor, and I believe was the outcome tiers us as well, or did that primarily come
the
from
outcome
Aaron, because
tiers,
you're more familiar with that game.
The outcome tiers are basically the entire mechanic is adapted from Aaron. So it does have those result tiers, and then we just kind of took that conceptually and molded it.
We worked the burdens and boons into it.
Yeah,
we worked
burdens
the exact
and boons.
Numbering of
that's
it
us.
Out. Tuning the dice numbers for the magnitude and like what results you're aiming for.
Right, doing your statistics
took a
homework,
very long time to do.
The inputs and outputs, definitely some really fine grain tuning on the core engine.
I want to latch on to one thing you said, Quinn. I love that you said that you want to get the game feel right. I feel like that's a term we hear more in video games, game design, because video games like kind of have a feel. The controller vibrates, there's timing, there's all these things. These more tactile, immediate things of feedback. Whereas here we're talking and rolling dice and ticking boxes and counting numbers, and yet still somehow you have nailed that.
Oh,
right.
Thank you.
Like there is still a game
really,
feel.
really
There is still that build up and release and that rhythm.
Quinn and I both are very like, how does this feel to execute? How does this feel at the table? How do the dice feel in your hand? What number of dice feels good? What sounds good to read?
Yeah.
What gets you thinking in the right way? And that's like how we pull that game feel into it. I think you see it a lot in Any Percent, Quinn's Terra-based speedrunning TTRPG.
Totally.
You see it in pretty much everything that I've designed.
I was going to call out You're in
all
Space.
the way back to Gun and Slinger, You're in Space, and everything.
Both of us as designers, I think we both really think about and prioritize game feel when we design. I think that's, and I really appreciate that you called that out and brought that forward, because I think that's something that we're both really proud of, and that we really like to do. It's really fun for us to think about those things when we make a game. I've got some whips in the vault. You think this had game feel, brother?
It's pretty absurd what Quinn's cooking.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, maybe we'll have you back someday.
I'd love that.
Before we wrap up, Alan, anything you want to add or ask?
I mean, I definitely want to reinforce the game feel part of it. Like when you're adding dice to your pool, and they're it's not just coming from like number of dots, add stat to stat. It's you're highlighting every part of your character and your dragons. Like, okay, there's the one from me, there's the two from the dragon, there's the one from this module, and then there's, anything else you're adding to it. Each time you add a die, it feels a little more like you're pulling back on a bow.
Yeah.
Getting ready to shoot that thing off.
Well, you literally feel it in your hand. You're literally putting more stuff
it's getting
into your
heavier,
hand.
yeah. A little bit of feedback. I had asked earlier, does the player set their magnitude? And when you explained, no, that's something the poet picks. That makes perfect sense. I admit I was ever so slightly disappointed, and the only reason why is you could have some really cool moments where the player is going, you know what? No, I am going to overclock my reactor. I am going to
really risky.
Divert all of my power from shields to weapons and do something crazy that if it doesn't work, it's going to blow up in my face.
We've run it a few different ways. I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Like we've run it a few different ways, and what I as a poet have realized, I mean, this is like the 10th time I've run this game. And what I've kind of realized is that when you allow that, when you choose that, like it's as much a pacing tool as it is a storytelling tool. And I'll freely admit that I was pretty actively deciding on things so that we could keep things moving during this one shot.
That makes perfect sense.
Because we have that time limit. But in our playtest campaign, there have been times when we have sat and like discussed for like 3 to 5 minutes, like, what are we wanting to do here? How do we want this to look? What can I do? You know, the way it is designed is the pilot says, I would like to do this. And the poet goes, that sounds like it's a magnitude 2. And then the pilot goes, well, I'm really wanting to like get to that magnitude 3. And it becomes a discussion of like, okay, fictionally, how do we get you to that position?
What do I got to do to get to that?
Like I said,
Exactly.
like I said, regardless of which place you start from, eventually you work towards a point where the fiction and the mechanic meet in the middle, and it's all equivalent.
Sure.
That is really how things work in like a proper like campaign of this. But we're moving and grooving tonight.
No, and that absolutely makes perfect sense. No, that's cool that you guys have thought of that. I will say it's funny. I have also played a lot of mecha games recently. Like Alex said, we dig giant robots. I recently ran a one shot of Beam Saber. I am too dumb and smooth brained to play Lancer.
So are we, and we played 21 episodes of it for the channel.
Man,
anything is possible if you believe.
Yeah, but I've read the book, and I've played a lot of Lancer in my head, and I just like what Alex said. This Dragon Reactor stands out among all of them. It's got such a good snappy flow. The time to contact.
It's definitely the most unique.
Yeah. It's so quick from world creation to, playing what would be a very satisfying 22-minute anime episode. This is
if you played that all back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're coming up on time here. We'll start wrapping up. But again, thanks everybody for being here, for bringing this game and for playing it with us. Alan, thank you for being here. The floor is yours for a moment to tell us where we can find you, where we can find your stuff, what you got going on.
Heck yeah. So I am, as it happens, I am also one half of a to they them game design team. And as it happens, actually, literally just today, our game, The Long Road Ahead, a game about great journeys and great sacrifices, was just sent to the printer for its first hardcover run.
Amazing!
So
yeah.
We got, we're gonna have books filling up our apartment any second now. You can find us at unicyclegames.com. You can also search for The Long Road Ahead on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. If the road is kind, your friendly local game store, hopefully in the very near future.
And if anyone wants to see a video of said game being played, we did play that for an episode of this. I'll make that pop up in the corner now.
I'll definitely check that out. That sounds really cool.
It was an absolute
a good
delight. You guys are great. But yeah, that's me.
All right, so all business taken care of. Thanks one more time, everybody, for being here. Thank you at home for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff that helps us out. If you're looking for more of me, you're in the right place. This is my YouTube channel. So just subscribe.
So convenient.
And yeah, there's no schedule for these episodes. We just get them whenever we find a game we like. But stick around. There will be another one at some point. Go back and watch all the previous ones. Learn about other games that are also super dope. And catch our main series where we play longer form actual plays. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.
Bye.